YouTube, what it do, man? It's your boy Benji, and we are back with the crew. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. Today we're checking out a video from Omeezy, where he talks about a Redpill content creator who is everything that he preaches against. This video is about Andrew Wilson of the Crucible podcast. This ought to be an interesting video. I do enjoy watching a lot of Andrew's debates. We probably will check some of those out on the channel. I don't believe that Andrew is a Redpill podcaster. He's actually gone back and forth with the guys that are of Redpill, but I'd like to hear Omeezy's take on this. Let's check it out.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're don't talk about my wife, you stupid. Shut your mouth.
Oh.
Shut.
And this is why I'm just so iffy about a lot of the debate content, because it's really just two people who have fan groups, and it's just whether or not the person with the bigger fan group will quote unquote win the debate. You don't necessarily have to make the right points. Your crew, your following may just support you because you went to battle against somebody else. And so it's really just a battle of the bases. This is weird. She did take a shot at him. I guess you could make that argument, but I think she was just using that to make a point, using a fact to make a point. But let's hear it out.
Your stupid mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did
daddies?
I just say?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
doll. I'm
daddies?
sorry. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch
Looks
licking?
like a South Park
Do
character.
the men that you try to
Do the women that you try
show
to
your hatred against?
Do you the women
they,
that you try
convince them
to?
that they
Oh, that's
shouldn't?
You know,
like,
Charlie,
flirt?
did I bring any of your
You
family
called
into
me
anything?
stupid?
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people
Okay.
on are bull.
Let's
You
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Well, that was a nasty read. One of the hallmarks of the Red Pill community is hypocrisy. You know, capping in their raps. And every single day on the internet, a new hypocrite in the community is exposed. That is Red Pill manosphere commentator Andrew Wilson. And if you don't know who Andrew Wilson is, well, this is Andrew Wilson.
Can you think of a single time ever in history where women have collectivized and used force to take anything from men?
Not force.
And so if that's the case and men have a monopoly on force, you're always going to have to appeal to them to not use it on you. Because here's the dirty truth, and it's brutal, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to lie to you. I know that if men collectivize in the West and decide to put women in little cages, there's not a they can do about it. So they really have to appeal to the benevolence of men.
Hello?
And all they do is demonize them. The majority of
Situations.
countries, women have no fucking rights.
In those countries, are they democratic?
No, what do they need
Do you
to be?
think if they suddenly were democratic, then that could change?
I don't know. Iraq is democratic now, and I don't know about the whole women's rights thing there.
In Afghanistan, if you gave women, if you implemented
If
democracy
who gave
there,
them that? Who?
if men suddenly gave women the right
Oh,
to
if
vote.
men suddenly gave women rights, that's crazy. If men gave women rights, the women could do stuff. I'm fucking razzle-dazzled by this argument.
No
Tell
one ever
me
said.
more.
No one ever said men were physically weaker or had less of a monopoly.
Well,
of
I'm
force.
just saying, you're just saying to me that if men gave women the right
Also,
things...
that's a pivot from what I'm saying. Which
It's not. You said if men in Afghanistan suddenly gave women the right to
We're
vote,
talking
then
about-
things would sure change. Yeah, no shit. If a brother and sister,
I've
the
explained
sister
how you
can't
can
reproduce,
quantify it.
want to hump, who are you to say they can't, Greg?
Could you defend that incest is good because the brother and the sister, they both consent, they continually consent? Is that something that you could defend with secular?
No, there's a potential for harm there.
If you have a higher percentage of people who get married and they have all of those like problems, right? When it's same types of problems, depression, this and
married
that,
people-
wouldn't you have to say, well, then you shouldn't get married? The
question was about incestuous
Yeah, but don't
people,
you
though.
understand the point here? The entailment is, if your only objection to it is, well, it could possibly cause you to become depressed, you would have to apply that to all interpersonal relationships, of which, if they break up, the person could become depressed.
Man, oh man, that's some of the worst content I've ever consumed.
This is why, another reason why I'd like to say debate content is kind of, I don't want to say pointless, but it's really, again, just a portion of whose fan base is bigger. Because you can easily clip up a lot of the content when you're doing this stuff, because you're going to have to, a lot of times, whittle down the thought process of the person that you're debating against. And you're going to have to apply hypotheticals onto situations in order to determine whether or not they're logically consistent. In the first discussion, Andrew Wilson looks like was debating with this woman about force doctrine. It's something that he's brought up many times when debating with people. Essentially, it's the idea that whoever holds a monopoly on force will grant the rights a lot of times people in the West believe that they have inalienable rights, things that are just inherently given to them. But in reality, there has to be somebody who's enforcing the rights. And since there's somebody who's enforcing the rights, that person also grants you ability to have certain freedoms. If that person were to take it away, or that entity were to take it away. Now, I think it makes for a great debate, but if you pull a lot of the hypotheticals out of context, it does look crazy. The second one looks like they were talking about secular humanism versus religion, and they're basing whether or not there's an objective reality there. You pull a lot of those hypotheticals out of context, it looks insane.
Recently, Andrew Wilson is in the headline for different reasons, and I will say this is a large part of the reason why the entirety of the Red Pill community is dying. One of the mainstays in the Red Pill and Manosphere community is criticizing women with kids. We've seen the criticisms before on the No Fugazi podcast, Fresh and Fit, hell, even Kevin Samuels. Women with kids are used goods and not fit for men to be dating. Hell, even Andrew's podcast made on the Whatever podcast has made the similar sentiments on the same show.
Eventually, down the line, there's going to be an expectation. If you're in a relationship with a single mother, the single mother is going to expect the guy to provide, not just for you, but for the kid. And so that adds like sort of a double duty to provide for a child that's not yours. The issue with that, though, is there's all the responsibility, but none of the corresponding authority. So she might expect you to provide, but she might not allow you as the guy to have any authority over the child. To me, if you're going to be responsible providing for a child and you're going to step in as a stepfather, you aren't given authority over the kid. Like, most single moms are not going to like allow you to discipline their kid. But
I hate to cut it off again, but y'all let me know if this is something that is inherently red pill, or is it even just something that I think it just makes logical sense. I think that there are plenty of things that if you were a man or a woman going into a relationship where your partner has children already from prior relationship, you could go into pretty weary.
they will expect you to provide for their kid. So it's all the responsibility with none of the authority.
It's almost like these platforms get like pamphlets every single month to say to themselves like, hey, this is the narrative that we're pushing with these specific talking points.
I agree though.
They use everything. I mean, everything the same. And this is where it gets tricky in the Red Pill community. A lot of the times the stuff that they talk about are anti their lifestyle. Some of the key bullets and talking points of this community, you know, women aren't shit, men are superior, you got to get a lot of money, etc., don't date 304s, are not how they live in their actual lives. And Andrew is no different. Maybe a different face than the ones that we've criticized before, you know, No Fugazi, Myron, Walter, or whoever else in the Red Pill community that's been exposed for living their lives. He's just a different face in New Day. So when he got called out on his platform about having these people, he turned into the same exact emotional creatures that he tends to criticize on the platform. And it's actually very hard to watch.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking... Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. Shut your stupid mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I just say?
with the 3
Sorry,
baby
doll. I'm
daddies?
sorry. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred against...
Do you the women that you try
convince them
to...
that they shouldn't...
You know,
This is like childish, man. This back and forth right here.
Charlie...
The reason why I can't respect Andrew in this situation at all is he, unlike others, aren't even attempting to justify or say, hey, there are exemptions to rules or make up any sort of philosophy or theory. He goes to 5th grade antics mimicking this young woman and then goes on to call her all types of names. He says, don't talk about my family, when literally the purpose of these platforms and podcasts is digging into young girls, talking about their family and trying to get to the reason as to why they are who they are, to unpack the difference between men and women. Andrew, you talk about people's families all the time, but now that the shoe is on the other foot, you turn into an emotional baby. Which brings me to my second point about his hypocrisy. Andrew and the...
But y'all let me know though. Is there a distinction to be made when somebody's pointing out particulars about your family versus somebody just saying something about your family? Or asking the question, like, what does your family think about this? If you're talking to a woman who does, online content, naughty content. Isn't that a different statement than saying definitively you X, Y, and Z in order to try and entail something out of a discussion? I don't think that either party was right, but y'all let me know.
The entire Red Pill community oftentimes talk about how women tend to be more emotional and that in the face of adversity, they always lean on the emotional side of the conversation. But every time I see Andrew Wilson being in a debate in which he is clearly either losing or is just trying to hammer home a point, he is the first person in all these conversations to go the emotional route.
I will be needing to leave at 6 p.m. So for anyone who is leaving or who is watching and not 6:30, because I have a lot of reasons.
I mean, you agreed to do
6:30, I thought.
6:30.
There's a lot of reasons. I mean, I have some health issues. I just sitting here for this prolonged period. I was not told, by the way, that this was going to be 3 hours. I thought it was going to be an hour max.
We didn't specify that it was going to be an hour max.
I actually was very poor communication on your end. But anyways, I'm telling you that I will
Not
be
poor
leaving at 6.
communication on your end. You're going to a show and didn't bother asking how long it was going to be.
I mean, again,
Why would you have a different
I
assumption?
have health problems.
Yeah, but why
I
would
mean,
you
are
have
you
a
serious?
different
Like,
assumption?
are you fucking
I'm
serious?
fucking serious. Why would you have
I
a different
health
assumption?
issues.
How would we know that?
I'm telling you now.
Oh, you're fundamentally a dishonest person.
I mean, that's just kind of something that you don't want to disclose because it's a little embarrassing.
Again, Omizi, I don't know about this one. I typically love Omizi videos, but something is not right here. Now, I'd have to check what the full context of this video is. But what in the world? It seems like there was an immediate discrepancy between the parties here about when they were going to end the show. Let's just say that Andrew and Brian of the Whatever podcast booked this woman to have a discussion with Andrew, and it was supposed to last X to X. And then lady shows up on the show, on air, and says, hey, I'm going to let y'all know I'm not going this full time period. When this could have been addressed, hey, I can't do this prior to the show beginning recording, prior to even arriving there. So what in the world? And now she's crying? This is interesting.
Are you cry?
Look,
I think that was messed up. Andrew, that's messed up.
Strong
we're
woman.
not asking
I thought you were a strong
Look,
woman.
I hope you guys have a really good day. I'm leaving.
Hold on.
No.
Andrew.
You're gonna
We're
cry?
not asking. Hold on.
I thought you were a strong
Kylie,
woman.
All right.
Shouldn't
You know,
like,
Charlie, did I
pursue
bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called me
into
fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about
fucking
your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
There's no way that
I'm
you
better
can
than you. It's
really
crazy.
sit there and justify being a big, strong, manly man, you know, not getting emotional, et cetera, et cetera. But when presented with actual facts about your life, you can't even stand in it. And
I do agree that this is a perfect example of people not being able to stand in their emotions. But I don't think Andrew Wilson is one of the people that get up there and tell you that you need to be a strong, manly man and that you need to put your emotions in a bag deep in the middle of nowhere. I don't think he's one of those guys. I think he's multiple times let us know that if somebody says something that he doesn't like, he's gonna go at them. Am I not right?
you actually become emotional. It's literally hypocrisy by definition. It doesn't make any sense to me. I would have rather had Andrew sit in there and say, well, you know what? I actually found somebody who made me feel as if there is an...
But how do we know he did not? This is a clip.
Exception to the rule, and it is possible, but generally speaking, don't date single mother. I don't know. That would have been a better way to phrase it. But with how much energy he speaks about these different situations, to go behind closed doors and not live that actual life is super weird and disgusting to me. And I think that the woman...
Is he doing it behind closed doors? Isn't this woman a published author?
Debating Andrew that got him so upset actually kind of hits the nail on the head about his whole life and the entirety of the Redpill community.
Better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck.
None of these guys are traditional men. Literally anybody holding a
hear it,
mic,
though.
claiming to be a part of the Red Pill community, claiming to be a part of the Manosphere, claiming to be a part of this organization that pushes against these rhetorics and ideologies of modern Western women, talking about men's self-help and men's improvement, etc., etc. None of them are traditional men. They all got successful off of rage baiting and working a social media algorithm. And day by day, their lives get exposed to the masses. And it's okay. I think the masses would understand that there are
You're normal.
situations and circumstances that aren't gonna align with the ideal picture of masculinity, whatever the hell that is. But you can't be the one peddling this information while simultaneously in the background living a different life. I wouldn't want a trainer yelling at me over and over again about my diet, my exercise, and my health, while then going home eating Snickers, ice cream, cookies, and cakes, not working out, and not sleeping properly.
That is another portion of the argument that I like to have. And I mean, y'all let me know what you think. I think that you can still push out positive information, truthful information, or offer up solutions for somebody that you don't necessarily align in your life. You know, like, for example, a lot of my basketball coaches growing up have been overweight, not in shape, completely past their prime. Like, they're not going to be able to go dunk a ball. You know what I'm saying? But they were able to get across their message by maybe their teaching strategies. They knew the X's and O's of the game, and they knew how to put everybody together in a puzzle that worked so that we could win games. But am I saying that, no, my coach is not fit to coach us because he's not X amount tall and dunking? I don't know. I don't think that the person has to be in order to then tell you. I think that they can have experience doing this thing and that helps add to whatever they're trying to push. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that.
And especially when we know that the Red Pill community, the Manosphere community, all these communities, people like Andrew Wilson are leading into real life impact and effects on young men in society. It actually is very disgusting, disheartening, and alarming that in 2025, they are unraveling at the seams only after they've done years and years worth of damage that probably cannot be fixed. But I'm here to tell you that those Manosphere guys like Andrew Wilson are not real. They're not even halfway living in their truth. They're actually embarrassed about their lives. Hell, that's why he's not even going up on this mic and saying, yeah, that is my family, I love them. No, he's embarrassed about his situation because it completely contradicts the e-mess that he is selling on the internet. But I'm here to tell you, Andrew Wilson is exactly who I have displayed in this video. He is a grifter. He is a beta male. He is an emotional baby who doesn't live his life. And more importantly, he's a weak excuse for a man. Somebody who can't even open up a pickle jar.
I'm supposed to open the pickle jar?
Now, I ain't gonna lie. You look at this guy here and you tell me that you expected him to have some type of physical strength that was going to knock your socks off. You tell me this. I think this is another issue with the internet, is that a lot of people get up here on the internet and pedestalize these people. At the end of the day, I think that we can have discussions about a lot of the ideas that these people have and how they could handle situations better, and maybe some of the messages that you're looking to put out or push out to the public. But I don't look at Andrew Wilson as like the Godfather. I don't think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people look at this guy to present some solid cases in debates, because that's what I believe a lot of his content is. Now, I would agree that in debates, there are typically two sides, and you can just listen to both in order to ascertain whether or not you agree with the points or the vision that one person is trying to push. I don't think that you have to agree to or look up to them as a person. I don't know about that. Sounds like Omizi is not messing with Andrew Wilson, though. I mean, like I said, I enjoy a lot of his debate content. I enjoy a lot of people that he's debated against. I've enjoyed a lot to hear a lot of the points that he's made, but I also hear some of his opposition. But I don't look up to him like he's my dad or nothing like that. Like, it is what it is. I finish the video and I go on with my life. But I'm not deep enough, I guess, into the lore to understand what he is doing in his spare time.
I gotta grip it.
Uh-oh, Andrew. If you can't open it either.
Your hand greased the whole top of it. Literally slippery.
Oh.
I'm supposed to open the pickle jar?
Another opportunity with.
Grab me a paper towel so I can dry the top of it off.
You're the big strong man. There you go. Come on.
I can't grip the fucker. Like I.
Oh my gosh. Like, I mean, everybody's been there, but I ain't gonna lie, this is bad luck. Let's see the comments. Bro calls women emotional for a living and immediately crashed out when she matches energy while being calm, cool, and collected. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. She cooked him in that scene for sure. Women are emotional, men are so strong and stoic. Guys like him be like, OMG, it took him not even 10 seconds to get instantly triggered. No facts. Dog knows she's right and he's trying to deflect. I agree with that. I think that she made a slam dunk point. But Andrew getting enraged isn't anything that I would hold him to some crazy standard. But I'm not necessarily all the way into the community to understand whether or not this dude is somebody who believes himself to be an alpha male. Or if he's peddling courses telling guys, this is what you need to do and you need to handle yourself like me. Let me know if I'm tripping. She never even finished such a sentence about his wife. We don't even know what she was going to actually say. No, facts. He looks at this is the least alpha thing I've ever heard. Maybe worse than not being able to open a pickle jar. And to say, 3 baby daddies, divorced twice is crazy work. It was confirmed as soon as he started yelling. I know it hurt. Yikes. They got these Red Pill dudes tuning to 7-year-old boys when they get challenged. He got upset about her bringing up his family, but he was making fun of her dad earlier. Oh, wow. Did not expect for him to rage out that fast, but he wants to sit there and take whatever she says. Or he wants her to sit there and take whatever she says. Yeah. I'm surprised he has a wife low-key. It's the same dude who got checked for not opening. It's because I'm better than you was crazy. He couldn't do better than single mother or baby daddies. The majority of these men don't have any options at all. That's why they shouldn't date. The same single mother who admitted to cheating on the first one and is also older than him. Most of these Red Pill guys are older, desperate people trying to educate younger guys on how not to be like them. The little sources of happiness that they have, they still look down on and bash publicly. He can dish it out, but when it was towards him, he could not handle it. Sheesh. We all know what Andrew's red button is. I mean, I think most men's red button would be their wives or children. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments.